Oh, hey guys. How's it going? I've got Maple with me again. I'm going to move her over here. Just kind of have her sit on my shoulder. Um, Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Lisa Colovi is here. Broke Cowgirl is here, which is Gwen, which I'm glad Gwen's here. I'm glad Lisa's here too. Don't take that wrong. Um, but I wanted to ask some questions, so we'll give everybody a minute to come on in. And I seriously do mean I do not plan to be on long tonight. I mean it this time. Ooh, a nice sushi dinner. That sounds wonderful. We had pizza, frozen pizza. Cold here in New York. What's the temperature by you, Lisa? It's Maple, I know. She leaves tomorrow with Pumpkin. They were going to leave today, but tomorrow's the day they leave, and then little Miss Daisy Pickles leaves on Sunday, so we'll be down in Norman. And so, yeah, so we're looking forward to it. And I'm just looking here, making sure what we got going on. Yeah, I like frozen pizza too. Um, so what are you talking about for cold, Lisa, by you? We had 73 today, and it's going to be in the 50s tonight. And then it looks like our first frost is going to be Thursday or Friday of next week. So, but yeah. So we just had an episode of. Oh, let me go back. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. 61 but windy. It feels so cold. I'm not as hardy as you South Dakotans. Yeah. I'm not. I don't know that I'm not hardy either. Hey, Craig Tim. Welcome in. I hope you and Debbie are doing well. Hey, Green Granny 2, Denise Pacell. Hope you're doing well. Uh, yeah, so thank you, Lisa. So yeah, we've the three piglets will leave this weekend. Pumpkin and Maple were going to leave today, but they ran into a glitch, so they're going to leave tomorrow, which is fine. I'm not worried about having them here longer. They're fun. Hey, Slava Kitchen Garden Therapy, welcome in. And um, then Miss Pickles, or Miss Daisy Pickles, is going to be leaving on Sunday. So Norman will be here with us. And then we're supposed to get rain this weekend. So we shall see, because we have hay underneath the carport, but we have it tarped. So our goal is to process or butcher the pheasants and the turkeys as a part of our scale down for winter process, because as you guys know, we usually have some pretty significant winters here. Hey, Doug and Carolyn at Appalachian Mount American Homestead. I'm sorry. So we have 5 of the bourbon red turkeys that we hatched, and then we have 12 of the pheasants. So we have 6 males, 6 females. So all of them are going to be going to freezer camp. Um, I will do a video. It depends how detailed, depending on the weather. If the weather is really bad and we decide to get it all done in one day, I may not have the time to do that, but I'll definitely show you the yields from it. I would like to do one on the pheasant process. Turkeys are just like chickens, so if you've done chickens before, it's pretty easy. Trying to think what else. Hey, Callie Homesteading with Pooh Bear. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, it's been a beautiful warm week. It's so bizarre that we've not had frost. And like I was saying earlier, it looks like our first frost is actually going to come next Thursday or Friday. So, which is fine. We've gotten everything we could get out of our plants. They're still coming, but I picked a bunch of peppers tonight from the greenhouse. I'm going to get them in the freeze dryer probably later on this evening and have that run overnight. So that'll be a good thing. How are you guys doing? What's going on with you guys? What do you have planned for this weekend? And while I'm waiting, one of the other things is so far it's guaranteed we've got two roosters in the hatchlings that we have. I think we have three, but I can't catch it crowing. And I'm trying to either offer them to somebody or um, they will be meat birds, quite honestly. I can't see waiting them. Yeah, and speaking of the hurricane, so prayers to all the folks who are in the path of that hurricane. I know it's heading through the Carolinas and stuff. And Doug and Carolyn, you guys have had 4 frosts so far. Wow. Um, we it's really wild. I mean, usually you guys know we've had frost by now. Excuse me. Kitchen Garden Therapy is planning to take your girls to the botanical garden. That's awesome. Hello, Tony Kettle Kitchen. Hello, Lori's World. Hey, Tina Ladybug. And hello, Our Treasured Home. Yeah, very early for you. That's what I thought, Doug. Hi, Growing with Hudson. Welcome in. Hello, Rising Swine. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, so it's kind of bizarre that we haven't had it, but on the other hand, we had a really cold spring. We were heating up until June, and I know somebody at one of the times we had a live and we were talking about heating, we talk about we buy so many pallets and it costs us X number of dollars a pallet. I think it's like $270 a pallet for the heating pellets. I figured it out. We heated for 9 months. So the five times the cost of the pallets divided by 9 months was $150 a month for heating. So that's really reasonable. So I don't have an issue with that. Hey, Grayson Fire. Grayson Fire is here. I wanted to tell her something. Let me see. Did I miss her? Grayson Fire, I missed you. I sent you a message on Instagram because you made a suggestion for the Homesteading Academy, and I have it scheduled to air next week. So thank you. And I did thank you for that in the video, if I remember correctly. But I wanted to let you know that. If anybody I know wants to come up, you're welcome to come up. I just need to be able to see you and hear you. Unfortunately, I just have to be careful because I'm still hearing some awful things. Just send me a message on IG or send me an email, and you're welcome to come on up and join me. And Maple here. Whoops, there she is. And I'd love to have you on the panel. That would be great. Yep, that's a pig on my shoulder. That's little Miss Maple. We were joking about that. I was screwing around with background removers last week, and I had Maple on my shoulder. I wanted to see how many people would actually catch it. So you did great, Q. So yeah, so it was 82 degrees yesterday. I couldn't believe it. 82 degrees in September. Incredible. Hey, Joe Serrano, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, so we're just getting things moving along, scaling down for winter, rearranging things. Like I said, we're going to be scaling down with the animals. Freezer camp this weekend for several of the animals, and then we'll get down to our basic animals that we overwinter, which are Sherman and Grant, as well as Eleanor and Fiona. And by the way, Eleanor and Fiona are now back together again. They haven't been together since June because of the farrowing. So that was really cool. They went back together fairly easily. Eleanor is the alpha there. So that's what happens there. And I'm just going to check to see if anyone messaged me to make sure. Because like I said, you guys are welcome to come up. I just want to keep it family friendly. Thanks, Tony at Kettle Kitchen. I appreciate it. I'm just going to go look real quick here. Hi, Strange Reality. And so Strange Reality is Alicia from Farm Fresh USA. Nice to meet you. Nice to have you here. You won our giveaway on Instagram. So that was really awesome. It's been very chilly as of this Tuesday. Today I noticed at 9 a.m. it was 70. For here, that's winter climate, not autumn. I bet. Come here, Diesel. He's staring in the window and he sees me, so he thinks something else. Hey, I'm over here. Come here, I'm live. Come here. I can't have you barking. So, so you know. Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad you like it, Alicia. Yeah, no worries, Jen, and thanks for stopping in, Northern Girl. Appreciate you. Love you. You're awesome. Um, so I'm trying to think of what else. Let's see. I think some of our newer girls are laying because we're definitely getting the smaller eggs. I have so many chickens. I don't know who's laying and who's not. So, um, I've never really looked at that. I just know the colors and we're getting eggs. So totally get that. Diesel quiet. Trying to think what else was going on. So are any of you in the path of the storms right now? I know that Appalachian American Homestead, they're getting rain from the hurricane right now, but is anybody um else struggling with it too? Like, do you have concerns about your well-being where you're located? Doug and Carolyn, I don't know if they're I just can't remember where in Tennessee they are, but and you don't have to say if you don't want to, but I'm just trying to think because it's a pretty significant storm. I know Dale Homestead is doing okay. She posted earlier, so I'm really glad to hear that. I know Leanne has her big giveaway tomorrow. So I will be there moderating, and Daz, I'm not quite sure where he is tonight. I didn't ask anybody to come up. I just was going to do an open panel. You've been taking a lot of insurance claims, and I know Grace and Fire is not there, but a couple of dear friends survived. Thank goodness. Oh, I'm sorry that one took the brunt end. Hey, Claire. Colleen Fark-Uharson, how are you? Yeah, I bet you're taking a lot of insurance claims. So sad. So sad. It's just so devastating. Upper East Tennessee near North Carolina and Virginia. Cool. We used to be, let's see, we used to be in Mitchell County, North Carolina when we first moved to North Carolina. Then we moved to Buncombe County, which is where Asheville is. And that's in Western North Carolina. So it's pretty cool. Rain, what's that? I think it's extinct in my area. It is here too. I totally get it. That's why I'm waiting on the snow because they keep saying this year is going to be pretty rough. So we're just trying to get things going. I'm just thankful that we haven't had to have water heaters just yet, and we haven't had snow yet. So I'm pretty thrilled about that, you know? But yeah, if anybody wants to come up on the panel, just let me know. You can either send me a message on Instagram or you can email me from our About page, and I've got both open so I can check it out. I do it that way just to be very protective of the channel because it's just, you never know. And I've heard stories, and I'm just trying to be very protective. We're just about in the very tip of the state. Gotcha. Nope, Tony, I'm not. I don't know what Noodle November is. Invites only for you, Tony. If you want to come up, Tony, you can. I don't know what you're talking about. Hi, Beverly Moffat. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. And let's see here. I wanted to go back to. Yeah, invites only for lives. Yep. That's what I've gone to too for a while now. And I'm okay throwing it out there tonight. Like, hey, if I know you, you can come on. Brothtober. Wow. No, I've not heard of Brothtober. That's a cool one. No, I'm not. I don't do a ton of cooking videos because I think the purpose of our channel is not really. Oh, the flies are still going around from the pigs. Um, I don't do solely cooking here, so I don't want to misrepresent because a lot of those collaborations, people kind of like go to your channel because they think you cook all the time, and I don't. So, Strange Reality wanted to know what pheasants taste like. Ryan, what do pheasants taste like? um, I don't believe I've ever ate pheasant. I could have, and I don't remember at a game dinner, but I don't remember having it. Ryan really wanted the pheasants because he's had pheasant cooked at game dinners, and we decided to raise them because poultry and game birds are fiscally, they're like really cheap to raise compared to larger livestock. So, um, he said they taste like chicken. They are a game bird. I mean, so is turkeys are game birds. And you know what turkey tastes like. So somewhere around there, we will let you know. I haven't had one yet. The male should be about 3 pounds, which for the two of us is perfect. It just gives us a variation in our proteins. Um, yeah, no worries, Gwen. No worries. Um, it just helps us vary our proteins. You know what I mean? Because you get tired of the same thing all the time. Like I could raise 100 meat chickens, and I'm gonna have chicken coming out of my ears. So we raise the chickens, we raise the turkeys, we raise the pheasants, and so it's all different types of proteins, but it gives us something a little different. And Dale, we were talking about you earlier. Thank you for posting the update that you're doing well, and we're sending prayers to you, my love. Um, so yeah, so that's what we have been doing. We're just getting ready to scale down with all of that stuff, and I feel like I'm repeating myself. But the reality of it is we can't raise beef. Um, my dog is misbehaving. What else is new? Um, we don't even have room for a cow. I don't know why he's being so bad tonight. Ryan must have went outside. Hey, Brenda at Redbird. Thank you, my dear, for being here. And I have trouble seeing all the names. Hey, Score One with the big guy. Welcome in. Hold on one second. Yep, that's right. I had to tell him he was a bad dog. He responds to it. It's so funny. He gets all upset when I call him a bad dog. Let me just check if anybody wants to come up. I'm throwing it out there because I don't want to keep rambling. I will get back to our Friday night grow your own foods. I've just been busy and have not reached out to people ahead of time. And so it's all good stuff. Hey, Deborah Rusignolo, welcome in. Glad you're here. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Let me go back. Hope you're doing well, Deborah. So, Ann Dale, do you have to worry about anything? I know you're getting rain and you say you guys are doing okay, but I know you have a creek or a river near you, so that's why I was asking. Hey, Annette, Annie's Kitchen. Hope you're doing well. Q, we don't have no bees. I put the hive out there and I tried to catch bees all summer long. Nothing. I also put some out there. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. Oh, it's worse than having children. Um, I put Swarm Commander out there and lemon grass or lemon balm. I can't remember which one it is, but I did have the right one. I just always screw up the name. And I put it out there once a week. I would spray it. And I know that you have to be very careful and not use too much because less is more, is what they say. Nothing. So I guess we're going to have to figure out if we're going to buy a Nook or something like that. So we'll see. How are your bees doing? The water's rising a little, but by morning it should be fine. Just some minor yard trash. Thank the Lord. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, I know it's crazy. In fact, Ryan said, hey, it's September. We're seeing more bees. He's like, why don't you go put some of that stuff out again? And I have been every Wednesday. I do it. Nothing, because they say if you don't see anything in a week, put some more out. So nothing. So that's all right. We'll keep trying. I'm going to pull the hive in, do some more learning over the winter, and then figure it out. So that'll be cool. It's all good stuff. All good stuff. So what do the rest of you have planned for this weekend? I know a bunch of you just came in, and I know Slava was talking about taking her girls to the botanical garden, and some people are dealing with the hurricane. And I hope you all stay safe. That's the biggest thing. I want you all to stay safe. Cider Fest. Ooh, that sounds lovely. I miss festivals. When I was in North Carolina, there were festivals all year long. Same thing in Connecticut. They don't seem to be on my neck of the woods too often. Today was the big one. Today was the Custer State Park Buffalo Roundup, which is a very big event for people. No plans, and it's fabulous. Yeah. I have plans, but they're really not to go anywhere. They're just to get my freezers full. Sleep, YouTube, repeat. Gosh. You have to drive an hour to find any too. Yeah, I get that, Brenda. It's crazy. So, creating a plan to expand our veggie garden, working out what I am planning and where. That's right, because it's spring by you. Very cool. Rise and Swine is processing basil. That's awesome. I just finished processing. Well, I did it a while ago. You guys saw the last of the videos today. Q is canning applesauce and sweet potatoes. Nice. Splitting firewood in the barn. Yep, nice. Glad you have a dry place to do it. Absolutely. So yeah, we'll be butchering turkeys and pheasants is our goal, getting them in the freezer and moving on. Really no real big plans. It's supposed to be wet, you know. Next weekend is Harvest Fest. Oh, nice. Nice. I went to a couple pumpkin farms a couple weeks ago, and I was saying I think it was the last live, they were closed, and I was so bummed because I wanted to talk to them about getting their extra pumpkins, and they were closed. Going to be making some pumpkin recipes. Very cool, Barb. And hello, Barb. Barb's Country Home. Hello, Doreen's Food. Welcome in. That's awesome. Yeah, so I took down all the farrowing stuff in the barns because I don't know if you guys remember, we had a ramp that came down Fiona and Eleanor's barn, and we put, some safety rails on it, if you will, to keep the piglets from falling off. Well, my older girls, now that they're back together, keep wedging themselves on that, and somebody's going to get hurt. So we've kind of taken everything out of the barns. We're going to redesign them for next year. But we'll definitely be farrowing next year. And I think what we'll be doing is Grant with one of the girls and Sherman with one of the others. So the real thinking begins, because I want to make sure that we have unrelated pairs to sell. to everybody. Yeah, I'm sure everything is rescheduled due to the hurricane. Oh, it was an awful, awful hurricane. So scary. So scary. Trying to think what else. I mean, it sounds like not much is going on, but that's, just the day-to-day stuff of getting ready for winter. Silly things. You stack stuff up and then you realize, oh, I have to clean that up for winter before the snow comes. Supposed to get 3 kittens tomorrow for my friend, one brother and 2 sisters. Oh, congratulations. That's awesome, Callie Pooh Bear. I like to call you Callie Pooh Bear. That's really cool. I'm really glad to hear that. So, I don't know if any of you in here have, excuse me, have caught any of the Homesteading Academy. I'm just curious if you have. If you haven't, no big deal. Like, what I want that series to be is purely educational, and I want it to be for people to go to it if they want to learn something. If they don't have to. I don't want it to feel like an obligation. I want it to be, hey, I really want to learn about this topic. We just had Glenn from the Cow Emporium on, and my mind was blown. His knowledge of the farming industry and, cows calving was just incredible. And I'm just curious just to get some feedback about that. If you haven't seen them, no big deal. Um, One of the things, oh, it's a YouTube, that's the YouTube playlist, Alicia. That is the Homesteading Academy. The podcast is Round the Hay Bale. So the Homesteading Academy is purely my channel. And I have other people come on who are homesteaders, whether they're on YouTube or not, come on and talk to us about different things. So, yeah, we have a playlist. Oh, cool, Callie. That'd be great. 60 miles from us. Awesome. Wow. Yeah, we used to live in Spruce Pine. I don't mind saying that. Um, that's really cool when we moved from Connecticut. Um, the other thing is, are there any goat owners in here? I think Doug and Carolyn are, if I remember correctly. But anybody else in here that are goat owners? I'm just curious because I know I said I wasn't going to do them. So it's just an idea. I don't know that I will. Um, I really, if I did get one, it would be a Nubian. I want a larger size goat. And I know it's silly, but I want a larger size goat. And I'm wondering what resources you think are beneficial for me to look at to learn more about them, because they are a lot more, or they seem a lot more, in depth, if you will, or more work um, than my pigs. No goats here, but go for it. Thanks, Anne. So, yes, you'll get your pigs. Don't you worry, Pooh Bear. You'll get your pigs. Um, my purpose for getting one is for milk. I have no need for a dairy cow. There's only 2 of us. We don't even drink a lot of milk, but I want to make goat milk products. I want to make cheese. I want to make um, all different things. And I want reality, because if they're going to get out all the time, I don't want them. I'm just being real. Yeah, dental goat is really good. Yep, I know she's got them. Not a lot of people have Nubians though. I really like the larger size goats. No offense, I just like the larger ones. Um, I want sheep too. Let's not even go there. I want baby doll sheep. Let's not even go there. Um, I do want them, but I can only get one. So I had recently learned that I could breed them and have a milking goat probably for close to 10 months of the year, depending on how things go. And then you dry them up before you breed them again and stuff. I really don't want a billy goat. I probably have to get two as it is, and I would probably get two females. Um, but just basic things. Do I have to milk? I do want a baby hippopotamus. What's wrong with that, Barb? I would totally take the hippopotamus over the goat, though. I would. Um, I'm just trying. Okay, yeah, they'll definitely be behind a hot wire. Absolutely. Um, hey, Prepper 101, welcome in. Nice to see you. Glad you're here. So I do have room for them in the back of the pigs right now. Um, but I know that they require certain minerals. You have to watch their worm loads. I know that you have to trim their hooves. I know that milking would be a commitment. Is it once a day, twice a day? So I'm just trying to figure out where's a great place to go to learn all that. The other thing is the other thing is I want reality. Like if they're a pain in the neck, I want to know about it because I hear a lot about them getting out. And I know folks have said a couple hot wires would be fine. Hey, where to begin homestead? No worries at all. Glad you're here, Janice. Um, so yeah, and the other thing is that I'm thinking about like if I did it, I would go to a breeder like we did with the pigs. Um, Carolyn wants to get a milk goat. Yeah. I was talking about goats, Janice. I have been 99% against them, but now I'm kind of opening my brain a little to learning more about um, getting a Nubian. It's just an idea. I don't know that I'm going to do it. I'm one of those people who I'm not impulsive whatsoever when it comes to, um, I don't just bring goats home. Like, I will have a plan. Yes. So, Barb, what I learned, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but what I learned from a friend of mine on Instagram is you breed the goat, they have the baby, you breed the goat, they have the baby, and then you can milk for about 10 months. And then I guess you have to dry them up 2 months before you breed again. Um, so that means we would have to have her bred on our farm. And I don't want a billy goat, which means I'd have to work out either AI or work out a deal with somebody who is willing to breed. So that's another reason why I want to go to a breeder. But I'm just trying to figure it out. Okay, Gwen, no worries. Brenda said you can't have anything close to the fences because they jump. Goats are great browses, like to eat from the chest up. Yeah, I have familiarity with like what they eat because when I was a teenager, I wanted to ride horses. And I went to a farm that was not your typical equine or equestrian setting. It was like this woman who had these horses who offered to teach me. And I worked a deal with her where I could work in the barn for my lessons. And so she had goats, she had chickens, she had all that stuff. And the goats ate my raincoat right off my back. So, but again, this is not definite. It may never happen. I need to learn about this first. Used to raise boar goats for meat, had around 40 head at one time, never milked them just for meat. There is a local place that we usually bring our Christmas tree to when Christmas is over, and they raise meat goats. I don't know the name of them. I don't know that they're boar goats. But I have this thing where I want a Nubian, and the reason why is because I want a big goat. I like the idea of a goat standing next to me. I think that's really cool. So, if anyone in the chat needs fertile eggs, I have the roosters. Yep. All right, score one. Take care of yourself. Please stay safe. Please stay safe. Hello, beautiful. Blue Self-Reliance. Welcome in. Yeah, feta cheese sounds good to me too. So yeah, just looking into that. What I have done in the past is where we used to buy hay or where we have bought hay in the past, we have um I bought a gallon of milk and I made butter out of the goat's milk. And that's like the kind of stuff that I want to do. No, the Nubians are the ones that are very tall and they have very long ears. Hi, Frank and Jackie. Good to see you guys here. Thanks for being here. Let's see if I can pick up a picture of one. It won't be my picture, obviously, so I'm borrowing somebody's picture. Oop, Nubian goat. Here. Oop. We have a really well goat. I helped deliver a Nubian there once. Cool. Yeah, the place where we got hay has Nubians. They're not necessarily a breeder, but I could probably get one from them. But we can't have large livestock, so I try to fill my needs where I can. So, and I'll just throw it out one last time. If anybody wants to come up, you're welcome to join. Just send me a message on Instagram or email me, and I just need to know who you are. And I have to do that to protect the channel because some weird stuff goes on. Crossing boar with Sannon. I think that's how you say it, Sannon. Good meat. Let me go back to that. Oops. Hey, 12 Stones, welcome in, welcome in. Let me put this on the screen. Hoping to get a good meat and dairy cross, so we'll see in the next year or so if the females give milk. Love Nubians. I've heard good things about Nubians. I've heard they're pretty laid back. Is that true or no? We may not. It depends. Everything has to. La Mancha. Yep. Gotcha. Everything has to. Hey, Huga Homestead CB, welcome in. Everything we do on small land has to be given thought because it requires some creativity to make sure that we are doing what is in the best interest of the animal. We are doing what is in the best interest of our land, mainly the animal, because I know that they talk about worm loads. You have to be very careful with goats, and a lot of people rotationally graze. I'm getting limited on rotational grazing. So I don't want to commit to something that I'm going to do harm to. That's irresponsible. So so we're considering it. We'll see what happens. Get smashy. Get smashy to thumbs up. You heard Northern Girl Hobbies. She said get smashy. But other than that, everybody's doing well. We've been, it's nice that it's nice that we're getting to the point of the year where things are starting to calm down because it's been crazy. I've only met one mean goat. Awesome. The Nubians at the farm are super chill. I met well-known dairy farmer earlier. Gotcha. Yeah, so I'm trying to see. The farm lets you pet them, one let me deliver. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to look into who around here has them, because everybody has Nigerian dwarf, and that's great. It makes me nervous to have small goats around here. It does. The piglets put me on pins and needles when there's owls in the yard. Not that they can pick them up, but they can kill them. And we're trying to figure out. Norman has to stay separate from Fiona and Eleanor for a while, and that kind of bothers me because we had thought about having, or we planned on having Norman with a buddy so he wouldn't be alone. And the problem is well, his buddy was one of the ones who had a scrotal hernia and we lost him. So we will eventually put Norman in with his mother and his aunt, right? His aunt Eleanor. But the problem is we need to make sure they're all dried up. Otherwise, Norman will be opportunistic and start sucking on his mamas again, you know? I do watch Weedham and Reap. Thank you. I do watch them. CJ Funny Farm also has a Nubian. Hey, Uncle Al. Thanks for stopping by to say hey. Hope you're doing well, my friend. What is CL? Enjoy your babysitting, Uncle Al. Yeah, what is CL? Is it chlamydia? Because I know they get certain things. And that's the other thing. I also have to find out if we have a vet that would deal with them, because I already have to deal with that with the pigs, and I'm not dealing with that again because that's too hard. It's going to get harder next year. I'm just waiting for Janice's answer. I'm dying to hear this. I know there's all sorts of things that they have to have done. I'm going to move my little maple and put her up on the shelf here. There we go. It's a nasty infection that forms bumps on the animal and is not treatable with antibiotics. Got it. Got it. Yeah, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I mean, I know that we have more area that we could fence in, but again, it's just early stages of consideration and thinking about it. I really have to do my research on this because I don't want to do something I'm not going to be happy with. Just looking at the chat real quick. Just going to check real quick. Thanks, Growing with Hudson. You're so awesome. You've been cooking up a storm, doing all that cool stuff. Oh, the flies are annoying. They're slowing down to the point now where they land on your eyeball, and it's like, are you kidding me? I can't. That's one reason I can't wait until the frost. Good night, Appalachian American Homestead. Thanks for being here. But yeah, that's what we got going on. I know that we also have another episode of the Homesteading Academy coming up next week. So that'll be cool. And that was an idea from Glenda at Grace and Fire had given a suggestion for a topic. So that's exciting. Yeah, the gnats are just ridiculous. The flies have been here, Brenda, all summer long, obviously because we have pigs. Hey, Chuck, welcome in. And now they're slowing down, but they're still driving us crazy. No matter how many times you try to not get them in the house, they're in the house. And now when I'm live, they want to come be my friend. It's crazy. Oof. Have fun, Uncle Al. That's awesome. Hey, Bland's Promised Land Ranch. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hey. Yeah, I heard a lot about that Pine Cone Fest. I should look it up and see what it was about. Hey, Sandy, Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. Welcome in, friend. I laugh when I hear about it because I could have a Pine Cone Festival every day here. We have tons of it. Bye, Uncle Al. So really, that's all I got going on. So I'm not going to keep you guys forever. Oops. Hey, Mountain Maple Ranch, welcome in, welcome in. So yeah, if nobody's going to join, I will probably just keep it short tonight because I don't have a lot to share. But I will definitely be back. I will definitely be back next week. And I'll keep you guys posted on the yield from the birds because I'm really excited, looking forward to that. I'm serious, and who said that? Wait a minute. Yeah, if you want to jump on, it's up to you, Monica. Ooh, I'm dealing with flies here. Just want to go back. Local cooling farms. Do you know what kind of goats those are? No, not at all. Monica, I will copy and send to you. Is it okay if I send it via Instagram? I'm going to send it there just because it's easier. Let me just send that real quick, guys. Bear with me. Send this to Monica. Okay, Monica, I sent it. No, I don't know what type of goats those are. Just going through the chat real quick. Yeah, Andale, pine cones every day, I'm telling you. In fact, I did a post on Instagram, was a little bit of a rant, if you will, about the Black Hills because we're very dry, and the pine needles and the pine cones, create a lot of litter on the forest floor, and they ignite really quickly. So I had told people, think of that when you throw a cigarette out the window, or think of that when you light a fire in the Forest Service where you're not supposed to. Because we live here. We're about to do all of our harvest Mountain Maple Ranch. We are actually way beyond where we would normally would. But it looks like our frost is actually coming Thursday or Friday of next week. The animals are doing really well, Sandy. I was saying earlier that the piglets all leave this weekend, and the turkeys and the pheasants will be going to freezer camp. And so we will be down to our chickens and our breeding turkeys and our pigs, and then Norman, who will be our meat pig. We love you too, Jackie and Frank. You're so sweet. So everybody's doing really well. No worries, Blue. No worries. Totally get it. It's really early by you. Just trying to get down to the bottom of the chat. Oh, okay, Callie. Hang on. I didn't have it. There you are. I will send it to you too. Let me send that out right now. Hang on 1 second, please. There you go, Callie. And guys, we just want to keep it family friendly, obviously. Oh, Monica, you ready to come on up? Cool. Hey, Monica.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. I miss you so much. We haven't recorded in 2 weeks, and I miss you guys so bad.
I know it. I've got Maple here with me.
Oh my gosh, look at that little piglet. That is so stinking cute. I can't even handle it.
She is out there last night. Now, mind you, she's been on twice a day feedings, with the exception of the first 3 days that they were weaned. And the past 2 nights, Maple is out there squealing.
That's so cute.
And I'm like, no, you're going to your new home. You can't sucker me like that.
Oh, I love it so much.
Oh, I'm going to miss them.
Yeah, it's hard when they leave, especially when you get so attached to them, and then you're like, bye.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm excited.
Hey,
okay, wait.
Is it Clarie Derval? Hello.
Oh, strange reality. Hello. There's some people in here that I've never seen before. So
You know,
broke crowd.
Strange Reality.
Do I?
She won my Instagram, the scarf shawl thing that I made, Farm Fresh
Oh.
USA.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, very nice.
I know it.
Very cool. No, I have been like MIA on Instagram the past week or so. It has been refreshing, but not because I miss it. I like social media to a certain point, but the kids have been keeping me busy here. And with Eric had a really rough week 2 weeks ago. He's been super busy at work. So us not recording the podcast the past 2 weeks has been hard because I miss you guys, but it's been really nice because I've been able to kind of keep track of what's going on here with Eric and the kids. And yeah.
No worries. Totally get it. Totally get it. Hey, a homesteading hustle.
I have
no worries, Mountain Maple.
I have literally a table full of plants that I've stopped at Home Depot and grabbed starters because I literally have had zero time to start my own. And so I have a kitchen table full of starts that I need to put in the ground. And they've been here for like almost a week now.
Good night, Brenda. That's funny.
Yeah. And tomorrow morning we have to go deliver our first. So when we moved here 8 years ago, Eric wanted cows and a horse, right? And so the first thing we did was Eric got his horse, which is ridiculous. But then he went and we picked up 2 cows, a mama and a baby. And they're like our OG cows, right? Tomorrow is so bittersweet because we'll be saying goodbye to them. They're not pregnant this year and we have to sell them. And we're selling them to a guy who's going to take them straight to process. And it's so bittersweet because mama is about 12 or 13 and her baby that was of our very first baby here, not born to the ranch, but acquired. She's only like 8, but she's not pregnant. And it doesn't look like she's going to get pregnant. And so, yeah, needless to say, it's going to be so bittersweet dropping them off tomorrow morning because they're our first. They're mama and baby, our first too. So it's going to be a rough morning, but. So, okay. I did not try the homemade Spam yet. I actually forgot it was in there today. Thursday. So Eric tried our homemade Spam last night on the live.
Right?
Yeah. And then I didn't eat it because it was after 8. And I was like, look, I'm doing really well with not eating after 7 p.m. with my intermittent fasting. So I really don't want to eat after 7. And so I didn't. I forgot all about it today. We had Friday school for the kids. And so we get up at 7 in the morning, we get all the animals done and we're at school by 9 o'clock. School starts and we stay there until after 1 because we do 3 classes and then we do drama club. So we stay super busy. And so, yeah, I need to try it tomorrow. I'm going to probably try it tomorrow when I have my older son here. When Caleb and Emma are here, I'm going to see if Caleb wants to try it with me. We'll see. But yeah, I haven't tried it yet. So I'll have to do a quick short and be like, here's Monica trying it. It looked like brains in a can, Lisa. It literally looked like brains in a can. It was so weird. But
I just want to say real quick, just good night to Brenda, good night to Colleen and Clary DeVral. Yep, I totally. Hello. I hope I'm saying that right.
Okay, so I think somebody said too that was it Mountain? Who was it? Somebody castrated their first baby boy pig. And you followed, who is it? Is it Mountain?
Mountain Maple.
Mountain Maple, is that what it is? Mountain Maple Ranch. Oh yeah, and he said you followed my guide. Oh, that's really awesome. Thank you. That's cool.
So did we.
Very cool.
So did we.
That's awesome. That's actually one of our last videos we have to get monetized. I have yet to try to monetize the castration video because I'm afraid we're going to get dinged for it. But we put up our rabbit video and we haven't had any feedback that's been negative.
Did you put it under educational?
I did, I believe. But I also rated it like when I did the review, I was like, look, it's got shocking scenes or whatever in there. And so I made sure I did that.
So here's the deal. What I do for me, my rule of thumb is, and I know sometimes, I'll bounce it off Ryan and he'll say, no, it's not. And I'm like, you got to think about it. So what I do is when in doubt, I look at the list that they have and I mark it because I'd rather them see me as an accurate marker of things.
Exactly.
And that way they understand. But I try to put things as educational too.
Yeah.
But I don't get in close because here's the deal. If you want to know how to do this, contact me.
Yeah.
I'll give you the footage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like because I don't want to deal with the drama of social media. And there's plenty of other people out there who are showing it in detail because they've probably got 200K subscribers and nobody cares.
Well, and that's the thing. It's funny because we've had more negative comments and nasty trolls on our Let's Go branding video where we were branding the calf. Like somebody literally called my 13-year-old boy at the time, actually, I think he was 14 already, a girl. He was like, why is that even a guy or a girl? And I'm like, oh, delete for you, mister. You're not going to trash talk my 14-year-old kid. And then somebody else, we left all the other ones on there, but somebody was like, you're a bad parent for how wretched for you to let your kids be a part of this. And I'm like, this is actually why we do this, so that our kids can have the sense of reality and know what things need to be done to take care of animals properly.
What do you think happened? And I'm just throwing it out there. What do you think happened years ago when we were an agricultural society and children had to work? Okay. Yeah. The reality of it is that they had to do it. All hands on deck. Right. And so what we're doing is no different than what was being done years ago. And I know branding day is a huge event.
It is.
It is a huge event here with ranchers, and cooking and cookouts and all that stuff, and everybody's there, all hands on deck. So it just
Yeah, I know. Oh, thank you so much. I see Mountain Maple Ranch. She's saying that we've been teaching, and that was cool that, she watches our stuff because Eric and I do a great job of teaching. So thank you. I appreciate that. See, that's what I want my kids to know. I want my kids to understand that this is what they do. Last night we had a lady on, and she said that they have an acre of land, and she makes her own soaps and stuff. And I buy a lot of her soaps. Eric found out last night probably how much I buy her soaps because we were talking a little too much. I'm like, we're not going to talk about how much I buy from her. But I really like her soaps because they're really good. They're made with goat milk. Like Casey makes soaps as well, but his aren't made with goat milk. And I like I like her soaps because they're made with goat milk. And it's really good for like Abigail's skin and some of my kids with eczema. And I have psoriasis, like little spots of psoriasis that pop up every now and then when I get super stressed, because psoriasis is in my family heavy. And thankfully I don't have a lot of it, but every now and then I get little patches when I'm super stressed, and I know that my skin needs to be cared for. And so we were talking or whatever. And she said when she moved to her homestead, her 1 acre, she said the first time they ate chicken from their farm, like some roosters in the stew pot, her daughter was like, what? And she was like, honey, where do you think chicken comes from? It comes from farms. So she said that was one of the things she was kind of like, hey, this is how it goes. This is how life works.
Yeah.
That's my kids to realize.
Absolutely. Hey, good night. Growing with Hudson, and hello, Arc Wildman. Yeah. I was actually talking earlier. I'm sort of doing some research on goats. I'm very specific about what I want. I want it to be a Nubian to milk.
Yep.
I don't want a billy goat. I don't want a herd of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I want the goat milk. That's where I'm at. So we're in the very just beginning stages of thinking of it.
That's cool though. I mean, the good thing is when you have goats and then you have that goat milk at your disposal, then you can, look, you have the capabilities of freeze drying it for future use. Goat milk is great so that if you have piglets and you need some supplemental milk, that's what I was able to give Peter. That's what Peter the pig, that's what Gizmo survived off of, because I didn't have any other alternative. And I knew it worked for, Diddy, my bottle calf. Yep. And so if goat milk worked for a giant cow or a calf at the time, then I knew it was going to work for a piglet. At least I hoped it did. And I'm telling you, goat milk is one of the best things you could possibly have on your farm.
Yep.
And I'm not allowed to have goats. So
I have obviously when the pigs farrowed, I had colostrum, multi-species colostrum on hand. Mm-hmm. And I also had a can of the Meyerson's goat milk, because when the piglets get weaned, we give it to them in their feed for a while usually until the can is gone.
Yep.
and that's because it's just got extra nutrition. It's good for them. I've raised pigs with it and without it, and they've done fine. But for me, I said, you know what? I had it on hand in case I had a bottle one. In case pigs you don't really bottle feed, but I was gonna do a little dish with them.
Gotta do what you gotta do. I mean,
Hey, Mr. Blue Collar.
I bottle fed my pig, so
Cool. Yeah, I remember that. So,
yeah.
I was just I have it on hand, and what I do is I give the families like a little because I want to use the can up and I don't want the
Mhm.
can to go bad. So I'd rather give them a small Ziploc with it in there. And I tell them, look, just, feed it till it's gone. Cause I think it's good for the transition too,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, I've been learning a lot about the Mylar bags and the food preservation, and you could probably take anything you have left over, add some the oxygen absorbers to a glass jar, and go ahead and seal that up. And you might be able to keep that a lot longer than having to worry about putting it in your freezer or,
Yep.
it'll keep just like powdered milk, for at least a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually what I do is like, so once I open the can, I'll try to use it up by giving it away, like I said, and stuff.
Yeah.
But then with everybody leaving this weekend and us having Norman is still, he's not a runt, but he's smaller because he
Yeah.
just was not as quick to run to the bowl like his like his sister, Miss Daisy
Like,
Pickles.
yeah. Like the others. Some of them are a little bit more hungry than others, I think. You can always see that.
Yeah, and Fiona's litter was smaller. They were definitely smaller. But you've probably noticed this with pigs. The way they grow is they get like footballs,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden they elongate,
Yep.
and then they're like footballs, and they elongate, and then when they eat, they're like little babies with diapers. They go with like no belly to like
Yep.
little footballs.
Yeah,
So
they pack it on.
Miss Daisy Pickles right now is like a football when she eats. It's like it's hysterical. Yeah, his name is Norman because he was named after General Norman.
Love it. Love
So
it.
he was going to be Norman with another one, but unfortunately, so I was saying earlier before you came on that it's a shame that the other one passed away because we wanted to have Norman together with somebody. Now he's going to be
Mhm.
alone. And I can't put him in with his mother or his Aunt Eleanor until they completely dry up.
Yeah.
Because he's going to take advantage of that.
Yep. They usually do.
So what we're just waiting for them to dry up completely, and then we will put him in there because they're used to each other.
Yeah.
When we let Fiona out, Norman would get under the fence with his sister, and Eleanor had no problem, while they were sniffing her udder.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You definitely the good thing is they're fence lined with each other, so they're not really feeling that alone. Because Peter's in a pen by himself too, and I really want to put the next piglet with him at least for the last month or two because Peter's got about 2 more months. October, November, he's done. And so I told Eric, I said, I really want to let him out a little bit more and let him like enjoy the last 2 months of his life. I feel so bad. It's going to be a really hard day loading him up. I don't know that I'll be able to
It
deliver
will.
him. Thankfully, it's a Saturday and I can have Eric do it without me. I just don't
Yeah.
know I'll be able to say goodbye. I'll have to just say goodbye from the house and just be like, I'm leaving, I'm done. Or
Yeah.
else I'm going to go out with Eric and he's going to take me out to lunch to try to dissuade me from being upset because when he goes, it's going to be bittersweet for sure because he
Yeah.
survived a lot.
He sure did. He sure did. Just like Gizmo. I mean, Gizmo
Yeah.
survived a lot,
Well,
and
I mean,
that's,
he's going to be a big pig daddy, so he'll be good.
yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah. But yeah, well, right now, Norman is in Fiona's farrowing pen, which has become the wean pen.
Mhm.
So he can't see the mamas.
Oh, okay.
And that was strategic, right?
Yeah.
Because they can hear each other, but they couldn't see each other.
Mhm.
And it's funny because Fiona will walk by the back of the barn and she's smelling and all that stuff. But Eleanor and Fiona are back together now since June. This is the first time they've been back together and they've done well.
Yeah.
And Eleanor is starting to gain more weight, which is good because her body condition had really reduced weight wise and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a great idea, Sandy. And
Yeah,
hey,
that's a
Rich
good
at the
one.
Old Swedes.
I love that, Sandy. I probably will make a little photo album of him. I already took some pictures of Mama and baby Cal this evening when Eric was trying to get him up to the front. I'm like taking pictures of him, and he's like, What are you doing?" I'm like, "Pictures of Mama and baby." So this is going to be very bittersweet tomorrow morning to say goodbye to them.
Yeah.
But it'll be, it is life. But even Luke, who's 20, he just looked at me before he left tonight. He said, "You know, we're at that point, aren't we, Mom?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "We're at that point in our farming and ranching that we're now cycling through our first generation animals, and we're
Yeah.
having to really think about replacements." And I'm like, "Yeah, we actually are. You're right, Luke."
So true.
And because it's not, we've not had to really do that. We just
Yep.
like with our sow and our boar, I've been talking for about a year and a half now about trying to bring in replacements over the next 2 years. And we need to think about bringing in fresh blood because they are now probably about 5 or 6 years old each. We've only had them for about 4 years, but I think they're about a year and a half or 2 years old when we got them. And so we need to think about that. And we're really mindful of their body condition. And so, yeah.
Yeah. Gwen was saying, I'm glad the goats don't have to be out of sight. They don't, the pigs don't have to be. I was just advised it's a lot easier because if they can see them, they will, similar to human moms,
Yeah.
they'll leak milk.
Yeah. Oh, look at Rich. Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say the babies, it was just better. So that's what we're going to do, but they're going to be just fine. And hey, Joy, bless life. So yeah, and earlier I was just saying that we're trying to get everything done for winter and all that
Mhm.
stuff. Yeah, I pasture my pigs. I have them in smaller pastures because we only have 2 acres. And when they don't have access to sufficient grass, we feed alfalfa hay. And so right now our boys are getting alfalfa hay. Well, the girls are too, I should say, because when they're at the pen at night, I give them each a flake of hay to keep them occupied because at night I don't let them out into their pasture was reseeded and fertilized, and we haven't had good enough rain. So I'm trying to let that pasture rest until next year.
Yeah.
So every day I let them out of the pen into net fencing, and then right now they're able to go into the boys' old pasture. This weekend, though, the boys will be going back in their pasture, so it should be fun because everybody will be trying to get through to the fence each other again.
Yeah. Well, we let ours go sometimes. We haven't let them go since early summer because my big boar and Sal, who used to respect the fence, decided that they wanted to push through the electric fencing. Just walk right through it. Just forget about it. They were like, this not important. And my boar, who is easily 600 pounds, would walk through 3 strands of electric fencing, just blow through it like it was nothing. So we need to just get back to sectioning off pieces. So we'll probably be doing that sooner than later here, because I really want Peter to kind of run around a little bit before he goes. Not that it's really probably a good thing. We probably should just keep him in a smaller pen so he just relaxes and his meat stays nice and tender. I don't. That sounds so awful.
No, it's
But
the truth.
I want him to enjoy, I want him to enjoy his little bit of life that he has left because, I can only go in there and hug on him so much. It's nice when he's in a bigger space too. So, hi, Project
Absolutely.
Paul.
Hey,
Yeah.
Project Paul.
Did you see what Rich said? He said he sold 2 hens today. One was one of his original gals. He was just outside wondering what they were doing. I mean, think about it. We get attached to our animals. We do.
Yeah.
We think
I
about
had
their,
my chicken from last week did not make it.
oh,
I have not, it was one of my Goldens.
yeah,
Admittedly, the flock has not been right since the dog attack. And I don't
yeah.
see how the stress can still be carrying forward.
Mhm.
But I can just tell you, laying patterns, everything has not been right since April.
Yeah.
And then I have another one that we will dispatch tomorrow who I want to say she's got cancer. That's how it feels. She's very swollen in the gut, and I've
Mhm.
been picking her up into the coop every night. And, tonight or the other night, I said, she's probably in a lot of pain and not showing it. And I
Yeah.
am not doing her any favors. But, I thought, I'll be honest, I really didn't think she'd make it long. And
Yeah.
she's making it. And It's to the point where she actually stands up when I go get her now at the coop because she knows I'll pick her up into the coop,
Oh,
and she sleeps on the floor. But I just don't think it's really good for her. I don't know what's wrong with her. She's very
yeah,
swollen. And now I'm worried about her developing fly strike because she's sitting more, but she eats and drinks
yeah,
like none other. And if we pick her up and take her out of the coop, she can jump back in. She just can't jump out.
yeah.
So when I take her out, um, oh, good. See you later, Sandy.
Hi.
um, when I take her out, she'll just go lay in the sun and
Oh,
she's happy as a clam, and quite honestly, we've been eking her along and just hoping she would pass on her own, but it's not happening. So since we'll be butchering birds this weekend, we are going to
did you
just
see
let
what
them.
did you see what Rich said? He asked you, does her tail stick out straight, not up like a chicken? It could be water belly.
It does not stick out straight. Her tail
I've
is
never,
down.
I've never heard that before. That's good to know.
I've heard of it, and I've looked online about things, and I have not found anything that has worked to treat it. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so it's just she just looks like heck.
yeah.
So
It's hard when you have to say goodbye and you know it's not for it's for the best.
it's for the best. It's for the
Yeah,
best. It's what needs to happen.
yeah,
We just figured she was just doing her thing, so we let her do her thing. But it just seems to be nothing's helping, and it's just getting worse. So I think we're just going to do that. But I think next year we will end up getting more purebreds, if you will,
yeah.
in the spring when we're able to do that.
Well, my friend just so I have a bunch of I have a bunch of ducks that I need to dispatch because they're getting older. They're not laying. Right now, I am getting 0 duck eggs a day. 0. And it has been in the 80s and the low 90s. It has not been hundreds of degrees. And I have gotten no duck eggs and no chicken eggs over the past 2 weeks. I'm just beside myself. Thankfully, I have water glassed eggs that can hold me over, but I'm
Yep.
just like, what in the world is going on? We live in Texas. Y'all will lay until November for sure. Nothing. But yeah, my friend just brought over a bunch of Muscovies the other day. And so now I've had some Muscovy ducklings. And Eric's like, are we doing this now? And I'm like, yes, we are. Because I need some fresh blood. I need some new ducks. I need some new
Yep.
chickens. And so I've got my incubator going right here with
Yep.
a whole batch of black copper Moran eggs. So we'll see if she's like, hey, I've got like 12.5 black copper Moran eggs. Do you want them? I'm like, yes, I do. I do want
Oh
them.
my gosh.
And I don't care about breeds as much as I care about good egg layers. And she's like, they'll be great. She's like, they'll lay on your eggs. They'll do great. They'll lay eggs. And then they'll also, go broody for you too. And I'm like, sounds like a plan to me. So bringing in
Yeah.
new blood. So Lord willing, they will hatch. Majority of them will hatch. So we'll see.
Yeah. Alicia, it's strange reality. I will not eat a sick bird. Not at all. If there's something wrong with the bird. And this has been going on for a while with her, but like I said, everything seemed normal, like meaning that she does not seem in pain. And I know they hide it, but she's eating, she's drinking, she's was going outside, all of that stuff. Um, so yeah, we will not eat a bird if there's any question that they are sick. And then somebody else asked me a question, I think about ducks. I I have had ducks. I'm not a fan, but I also ended up with predators getting them and having 2 drakes. And the problem with us is wintertime.
Yeah.
Um, the water situation in the wintertime is just too much for me to deal with. So we processed our drakes and they are in the freezer.
Yeah. We'll be processing a few drakes soon. And I think as long as I can get Eric to, depends on what tomorrow looks like. We have our girl Libby that lost her baby this year. She is the last one from our OG bloodline, our Angus Brangus mixed bloodline. And I am super in love with her. We think she's amazing. And I love the bloodline in general. She's got a really good mama, really good
Yep.
bloodline in general. So we want to keep her. And she's got a cracked hoof and she is limping. And Eric's like, we can take care of this. And I'm like, okay, it's been 2 weeks. We haven't done anything about it. She's limping. Now she's actually holding her hoof up more. And you can see the crack it's like her hoof is almost overgrown a little bit, which is strange because none of them have had this happen ever. None of them have overgrown hooves. None of them need to be trimmed. And the edge of her hoof almost curls and then it has a cut right there. And I've never seen that. And I'm like, we need to take her into the vet. So tomorrow morning, we have hay delivered between 2 and 3 p.m. in the afternoon, hay, 80 bales starting. We've got at noon or 11 o'clock, we have to be over an hour away to deliver mama and baby. And I keep trying to get Eric to just get up early, load up Libby, the girl with the cracked hoof, and take her to the vet. Because I've never dealt with a cracked hoof. And I feel like we should take her in and get it looked at first. And then now that we see a vet do it, then maybe we can handle it on our own another time if we ever have that happen.
It takes a long time.
I feel like that's the right thing to do because it doesn't look like it's getting better.
I don't know. I can say it with a horse. I've seen it with horses, and one of my friends here has a horse that it took months and months of treatment to take care of it. But,
and see, I'm just nervous. I'm like, I don't want her to get an infection and then have something happen and have us put her down. Like, I can't deal with her being gone. Right. There's no way because she's already a year and a half old and she's already had she's 2 and she's already dropped her first calf. So I know she's going to be a good mama. I've watched her. She's already 2 and she calved early. First of all, we didn't know she was going to calf that early. And so we knew, we're like, oh my goodness, she already had her first baby at 2 years old. She's going to be an amazing mama. She already was an amazing mama. And here we are looking at her going, oh, great. And I'm like, if she gets hurt, I'll be so upset. No, we do have vet calls. We do have people that come out, but that costs a lot of money. That's easily $300 just for them walking on my property. But we can take her. She'll load up no problem. It's just a matter of getting our butts out there at 8 a.m. so that we can be the first in line.
Yeah.
And then we can get home.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was like, that was it. We have to be able to get out there in time.
I wanted to go back to a question and I can't. Oh, pigs need hooves trimmed. Yes. A lot of people have feeder pigs and they usually have them from spring until, November. Then you don't need to worry about it usually because they're not there long enough. I have kuni pigs, and because I have breeders, I can tell you right now, my boars are fine. They've been cut one time since they've been here, and that's Sherman. Sherman's been here since March of 21, and he's only had to have his hooves trimmed once. The boys are constantly on the move. They don't have that problem. The girls, because of the pregnancies, just similar to us when we get pregnant, and your hair and your nails are growing because of all the nutrition and the hormones. My girls right now really need their hooves trimmed, but we're waiting for them to dry off. Because while they were pregnant, we didn't want to be throwing them around on their backs. And so we'll be doing that soon before the winter, because wintertime is when they will grow the most, because they're here anyway, because they're not walking. If we have a snowy winter, they're walking more on snow than they are on abrasive surfaces.
Yeah.
So we got one of Fiona's when she was laying down right before she went into labor. She laid down and Ryan was giving her a belly rub and he's like, go get the trimmers. And so he trimmed one part of one hoof and then she decided to get up because she knew what was going on.
That's hilarious. Alicia's here.
Hey, Alicia, welcome in.
Yeah.
Mangalitsa and Duroc. Yeah, our first meat pigs were Mangalitsa, Duroc, and Berkshire. They were really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We bought a trimmer off Amazon and it was garbage. Hold on a minute. I have not used this yet, but Ryan is already impressed with the construction of it. We bought it from Premier One. And we too used to laugh and go, everybody's getting stuff from Premier One and it's probably, not great. I will tell you this. I did buy the heat lamp. I've been extremely thrilled with it. And we did buy the clippers. So Monica, I'm going to leave it with you for a minute because it's right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, see, we haven't had to trim ours. Now our big boy probably needs a good trim, but we're not good pig owners and we have never trimmed ours. So, but we just don't have the trimmers. And honestly, there's no way we're getting near Major our boar's hooves to trim them. Like absolutely not. He will literally destroy us if we tried to trim his hooves. So, he snapped one of his teeth off, his tusks off probably sometime last year. And we were like, well, that makes it a little easier for us to get near him because at least we know the one tusk is gone. I mean, there's no way we're clipping his tusks. There's no way we're clipping his hooves. Not happening. Now maybe with the mama, with our big Sal, we probably could get in there because she's pretty gentle with us. But yeah, he's not going to let us. I mean, he lets us feed him. We can get in there and pet him, but he's not going to let us near his hooves. There's no way. So he's
Good
just living
night,
that life.
Homesteading Hustle. Yeah, so these, I swear, they feel like they're 2 or 3 pounds heavy. The other ones
They
were
look nice.
lighter. Huh?
They look nice.
Yeah, so these are called, they're from Premier One and they're Professional Superior Foot Rot Shears. They have a bit of a serrated edge, but Ryan felt that it would give him more precision. The ones that we bought were more like a goat multi-species one. These are substantial. And quite honestly, I feel like if we would have bought these first, it would have been cheaper to buy these first than it is now that I've bought Amazon and spent the money on these, because clearly we're going to have to do it every year. And so it just makes sense for us to have them. And then if we had goats, we would be able to do goats as well. But one of the things we saw on Instagram was somebody had created, and Monica, you will love this. And I know it's not possible with the size of your boar or your breed of pigs, but they made this thing where they welded together a metal cage and they literally made it like a cattle,
like a chute.
A chute.
I think I've seen that. Maybe you sent it to me.
Yeah. So what it does is you put one pig in and that part stays down. The other pig pushes forward, and they had it where they could do 3 pigs at a time.
That's awesome.
So you put 3 pigs in the chute. The first one goes in the part that raises up. But check this out. It lifts them up so you could work on their feet.
I love that.
And then you can saw off their tusks, because we'll have to, Shermans are coming in now and we're going to have to do that. So Ryan is actually working out something to figure that out so he can do that with our pigs, because like a lot of people say, oh, you can scratch them and they'll lay down and all that stuff. Yes, you can, but it doesn't always work.
Well, and not to mention too, you can love a pig as much as you want, but certain pigs, if they're not used to you putting your hands in or around their mouth, they're not going to let you. Peter and his siblings before him, most of the piglets, most of my feeder pigs, the mom and the dad, I'm not going to get this comfortable with, but all the babies, because I've had them since they're babies, I've been able to literally go out there, sit down up against them, put my hands in their mouth, around their teeth, in their face, touch in their ears, all in their hooves, because when they're little, and I get them to love on me, I start to do that when they're being scratched and loved. So that's the benefit for me to be able to do that. With Peter, I can do the same thing. Now, when I walk up to Peter after having seen him for a couple of days, I hold my hand to his snout, and the first thing he wants to do is open his mouth and bite me. He wants to, but he's not trying to actually bite me. He's trying to taste me to say, oh, I know this lady. And I really do believe that he knows me by sound, by voice. But I feel like he's like, oh, cool, I want to still feel you. And I want to taste and make sure that's who you are. All my other one of our feeder pigs a few years ago, we had the trailer in there for the last 3 or 4 days of their life. We put it in there about a week before they go. So they'll be comfortable to go in and out. As Sandy said, Max is the easiest dog to give a bath ever. That's awesome. But when we're over at my in-laws eating dinner, and all of a sudden we heard this squealing, this awful noise, and we were like, what happened? The trailer had come off the hitch because the 2 massive 250-pound pigs were shoving on the edges. Well, when they did, the one piglet had taken and put his face up against the hook. You know, the hooks you hook on the back of the truck
Oh,
for the chains. He had gotten the hook caught up in his mouth, had torn his lip, and we had to go in there and unhook it out of his lip.
oh,
He had about 4 more days to live. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And so I reached in and we were able to take it, and I was able to give him, administer some homeopathy and some different remedies. I was able to put, colloidal silver spray in his mouth.
yeah.
But because I had that relationship with him, and even though he was swollen and hurting, I was able to put my hands in his actual mouth up against his teeth. Eric was able to, but it was one of those things that it made me feel, I was really happy that I had that relationship with them, because otherwise he could have gotten infected or something really bad. And he had 4 more days, 4 days to butcher. And I'm like, no, dude, you can't be hurting yourself now.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah.
Haley Ann Mennonite Farmhouse and Conscious Business Services and Opportunities. Yeah. I mean, you know, Sherman and Eleanor and Fiona and Grant, they've all been handled a ton.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, when it comes to their feet, they don't want anybody touching them. They don't want anything like that. But you know what? We have no problem wrestling them.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we do, and it doesn't hurt them. And I know a lot of people use the grinding stone and stuff like that. Ryan is just a strong proponent of, he likes the clipper. It's what he's used to. He used to work on a sheep farm and do it all the time. So he just feels like he is most comfortable with that. And I know that's what Monica said with her castration video.
Yeah.
She's most comfortable with a razor blade versus a scalpel. And it just works really well. Yeah, I agree, Sandy. I don't want anyone touching my feet.
Yeah, right.
You know, but it always makes me laugh because, you know, the pigs, once you get them on the back, they're fine. You know,
I have a raunchy mom right now. My husband's like, please just have your babies. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, it's nice to be able to have those relationships with your animals, to know that you're comfortable. That's Eric and I have been talking about looking at Solomon, our bull. He is 5 years old now, 5 or 6. He's 5 years old. He's 5 years old right now. And so one of the things we've got to think about is when you're looking at a bull, cows, you know, they're longer gestation, longer to mature. And we've got to think, do we want to start looking at introducing another bull into the herd now, so that in 2 years he will be ready? And Eric's like, we need to think about fresh blood, what we want to have come in here. And I'm like, that's fine, but I need to make sure that it's a 6-month-old or a 9-month-old calf. I want somebody that's under that year, because I want to make sure that we can spend time with it, be around it, and get it to be comfortable with us, so that we have a nice bull. Because I can't deal with the idea of having a bull that's not going to be comfortable with us as a family. There's too many of us.
Right. Absolutely.
There's just too much going on. And I need to know that I can walk up to my bull and say, you know, pet him and say, hey buddy, you know, how's it going today? And know that I can talk to him or bucket train him, so that when we need to bring him in, he's going to be leading his herd towards us, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and that's the thing. You have to make sure that you're going to be safe and all of that. And I think that's the biggest thing, you know, because like you said, the kids are in there and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, you know, and I know we've talked about Fiona, you know, and I'm not ready to get rid of her.
Well, that's, you know, you've made some good concessions too. I feel like, you know, we've talked about it before. What would happen if something happened to you while you were there by yourself? You have to make sure that you're taking care of your animals and knowing your animals are going to be good to you if for some reason you go down and around them, you know?
Yeah.
When you think about it, your animals are really good to you and you have a good relationship with them. So you know that if you go down and you're in the pig pen, they're not going to come at you.
She's down. Let's eat.
Let's get her. she forgot the food on the other side of the fence. Get her. But, you know, it's important to know that. But no, you know, you have to give your animals more than one shot too. Fiona is a good girl and she had babies for you, and that's a good thing. And, you know, press on a little longer.
We laugh because, you know, I had told him, I was like, we had joked about Fiona was going to be, Ryan said, Fiona's going to be the best mom. And I'm like, no. You know, and it's just really funny because we laugh, like Eleanor in a heartbeat, you know, and the joke of it is more mine being naive at the time, right, was, oh my gosh, she almost ate her babies, but boy, she was the best mom ever. Fiona, on the other hand, scared us half to death and yet laid there the whole time and didn't do anything. But then she was like, okay, kids, you're on your own.
Well, I think that's how we are though sometimes too, really, because at first, when I first became a mom, I was like, oh, and I was like everywhere. And now I'm like, y'all, just make yourself breakfast. It's fine. Live your life.
Yeah.
Did you hurt yourself? Are you bleeding to death? You're fine. So, moms are different. So
yeah.
Some of us want to eat our children right off the bat. Some of us are more like, nah, you're fine. It's good. We're good.
The best part about that whole thing is, right, I'm texting back and forth with Rebecca and Josh over at Halbert Farm. And, Josh is a guy, so he's got one perspective. Rebecca is like you, Monica, right? She's giving me the same things. To me, it sounds just like you would be talking to me. and I sent her a video. I'm like, she's trying to eat her babies. And it was funny, I said, I got to get him colostrum. And she turned around and she's like, I sent her the video and she's like, so Josh goes, yeah, first time mamas are hard. Rebecca turned around and she goes, I don't think she's trying to eat them. I think she's just telling them not to be near her face.
Yeah, she's stressed right now. She's like, excuse me, my face.
But in the meanwhile, she's like, Piglet goes flying.
I'm kind of like that in the morning too, though. I'm kind of like, this is my space. Mind your business.
I am too.
Get away from me. Well, no, I think my favorite is watching my big mama. Like, I mean, she's like 400-pound Sal, and she's just had these babies, and she jumps up because we have food, and I always bring her snacks and like special treats after she has her babies. And she's getting up and she's walking like, dude, I just had a bunch of babies. I just dropped 10 babies in there. Her babies are trying to find her, and if they get in her way, she's like, get out of my way, and she like throws them with her nose, and I'm like, hi. They're 5 seconds old. Give them a second. Now mind you, she does really well and she lets them eat and do all the things. But once she's done, and she needs to go eat. She needs to go drink and she needs to do her thing. And you need to back off of her for a minute. And I mean, she's an experienced mama that drops anywhere between 1, sometimes 2 litters a year, more like a February, November type gal where she'll spare, she'll do February 1 and then she'll do November and then she'll go to July. And then, you know what I mean? Like, so she sometimes will do twice. Sometimes she'll just do once a year. So she'll do every, 8-9 months or so, give or take. And needless to say, it's always funny to watch her throw. Not really funny, but it kind of is because the babies are just like a week or so old and she's like tossing them. She's like, this is my food. I'll give you food in a second. And she just kind of pushes them off to the side.
And they're fine.
They are. They're totally fine. She's never hurt anybody yet. It's more like they're insulted that she would kick them to the curb. And I'm like, well, let her eat. You can eat in a second. You're not eating that yet anyway. So chill out. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Fiona and her daughter, Miss Daisy Pickles, you would have thought 2 adult pigs were fighting because Fiona would push her out of the way and that little one would push forward and jump her whole body into the dish with her mother. She had her own dish.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And then there's Norman. But anyway.
We usually keep boys because 1, it's a lot easier to deal with boys when we castrate the boys, then we keep at least 1 to 3 boys, depending on how many we have. And we keep them because the boys are they're just more chill than the girls. And we always pick out the most chill boy. Immediately we look for size and body style because we want a good body style for what we want to do. And we always say, if we're going to sell the rest of them, that's great, but we're keeping the best one for ourselves. We're not giving ourselves the brunt of the litter unless we absolutely need to, AKA Peter. But for the most part, we keep the best one and then the rest of them we can sell. Not that any of them are bad, and if we're selling the runt, we tell people, hey, this one is the run of the litter. And sometimes we knock off some money for the runt, but we know that it's going to get bigger because we've watched the runts turn into full-size, beautiful feeder pigs. Not a big deal. But we've watched these boys fight with our Sal, and she's like, you need to settle down, mister. So right now her baby he's like at least 4 months old, 5 months old, and he's still in there with him and his mom and dad. Now he's castrated, so he runs around, but he's a big boy. And she was laying on the ground the other day, just trying to sleep. And I think he's still trying to nurse off of her, but she's not having it. And he's a one only lonely now. And he walked over to her and started nudging her. And she was like, you need to get away. And he kept squealing. And I thought something was wrong. I thought he was being laid on. So I come running over there. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And he's looking at me like, she won't get up. She won't get up. And I realized he was trying to get her up. Because every now and then when she gets up and walks, he'll try to nurse. And she won't let him. But it's the funniest thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. But you thought that he was a full-grown pig. Like he was mad. Yep. I was like, you need to settle down.
Fiona's litter would scream all the time. And I'd go running out there. And when I'd get out there, sometimes they were being laid on. But most of the time they weren't. They were mad because they were trying to nurse and Fiona's walking around.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my favorite. It's just like they're squealing the tattle. They're like, hello. She won't feed us. Here. Yeah. She won't feed us. What's the problem? We're trying to eat. Yeah, that's usually when I just go running outside as well. Because I'm like, someone's being killed. And I go running out there. And then I'm like, oh, you guys are a bunch of jerks. No one's being killed. So
exactly. Yeah. Well, Monica, I think I'm going to get going because we got to get up early and process the animals. But I wanted to thank you for joining me. And I know Callie Pooh Bear was going to join us, but she was having some issues. And I sent her the link again. And I said, well, we're going to get going. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for having me come up. We were watching Hocus Pocus too, but it's not that good.
Oh,
I know. They try too hard. And it's so weird because the witches look older now. So they have like old hands. And Abigail goes, Mom, they actually have like old hands. I'm like, stop telling me stuff. And now I'm watching their hands and like looking at them. And I'm like, But I'm still going to watch. I'm still going to watch the rest of it later. But the kids were watching it with Eric. Eric's like, this is kind of dark. I'm like, yeah, it's a little darker than the first one. The first one was kind of silly, And yeah, the second one's a little darker. So
good to know.
Yeah. But that's just, probably going to be an unpopular opinion that I have now. But yeah, we'll see. So anyway, well, thank you for having me up here. I miss you.
I miss you too. I love you too. Thank you for being here, my friend.
I hope Casey's internet's better this week because I need to go back to doing my normal thing.
I know. Well, everybody in the chat. Okay.
Yeah. Enjoy your day tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Yes. Enjoy your day too. Take care. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care, y'all.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.